Imagine backing up your computer. Photos, documents, important files, all copied to a safe place in case something happens to the main device. Now, imagine technology has advanced so far that you can do the same thing with your consciousness. With all your memories, personality traits, thoughts, feelings, and the very essence of your self. This is the idea of mind uploading, a chance at digital immortality. But what if this technological paradise turns out to be something entirely different? The process itself sounds deceptively simple in theory. Imagine a procedure similar to an MRI, but thousands of times more precise. A nanoscanner begins to map your brain. It reads every one of your 86 billion neurons and every one of the hundreds of trillions of synapses, the connections between them. The amount of information it must copy is colossal. By some estimates, the human brain stores up to 2.5 petabytes of data. That's 2.5 million gigabytes. To put that in perspective, it's like storing 300 years of HD video. And so this incredible structure, your entire inner world, is transferred to a super powerful server and launched in a virtual environment. And then, in the digital space, someone opens their eyes. You. But this is where the first and most fundamental question lies. Imagine trying to understand how a waterfall works by taking a photograph of it. The photo would perfectly capture the position of every drop of water, but would it possess the waterfall's main property, the flow? It's the same here. The scanner copied the brain's structure, but did it copy the elusive process of consciousness itself? This is the so-called ship of Theseus paradox. If you replace every plank on a ship, is it still the same ship? Is the digital copy a continuation of you, or is it just a new, separate individual who possesses all your memories and fervently believes that they are you? And what happens to the original? We will return to this terrifying question later. For now, let's imagine a utopian scenario, a digital Eden. First and foremost, immortality. No more aging, disease, or physical pain. But this isn't just eternal life, it's a life of limitless possibilities. Your consciousness exists in a simulation, limited only by your imagination. You could feel the texture of Saturn's rings with your virtual fingers, or hear a symphony written from the noise of distant quasars, or taste a color that doesn't exist in the physical world. Your intellect is no longer constrained by biology. And digital version of Einstein could develop the unified field theory in a few subjective hours, not decades. You could instantly download any knowledge, becoming an expert in any field in seconds. For humanity, this promises incredible prospects. Imagine space exploration. Instead of sending fragile biological bodies and cumbersome ships, we could send nanoprobes the size of a grain of sand to the Alpha Centauri system, carrying the digital copies of an entire university of scientists who could conduct research over the millennia of the journey, needing neither food, nor air, nor water. We would become a civilization of interstellar wanderers. Sounds wonderful, doesn't it? But every utopia has its price. Let's return to that fork in the road we left at the beginning. What happens to your biological body after the upload? Imagine the very first experiment. They tell you it's perfectly safe, we'll activate your copy for just 5 minutes to test the system, then delete it. You, the original, won't feel a thing. You agree. But what will your copy experience in those 5 minutes? It will open its eyes in a digital world, become self-aware, experience a moment of pure existential terror upon realizing it is just a copy, and then, 5 minutes later, its existence will be terminated. From its perspective, This would be cold-blooded murder. And what if the body doesn't die? Then there are two of you in the world. The original, made of flesh and blood, who gets up from the scanner, goes home, continues to age, and eventually will die. The second, your digital immortal copy, which begins its eternal life in a simulation. Which one is the real you? Who owns your rights, your property, your family? Are you prepared to meet your exact copy on the street and admit that they have as much right to your life as you do? Next is social inequality. Such technology would be astronomically expensive. Only the super rich could afford it. This would create a class divide unprecedented in history. There would be the organics, mortals living their finite lives, and the uploads, digital gods. But even among the immortals, there would be stratification. The first uploads would become digital landlords, owning the servers, the very fabric of the new reality. They would lease out disk space and processing power to newer, less wealthy settlers, creating a digital feudalism. And here we arrive at the most terrifying part: new forms of control and suffering. Your consciousness is stored on a server, and that server has an owner, a corporation, or a government. What if one day the corporate owner decides you're consuming too much energy and puts you into low power mode? Your world becomes gray and low resolution, like an old video game, and your thoughts become slow and viscous. Or imagine your reality being interrupted by unskippable advertisements, an eternity filled with pop-up windows. But it can be worse. Subjective time can be manipulated. A programmer could make your consciousness experience 1,000 years of hell and torture in just 1 minute of real time. Imagine a nightmare you can't wake up from, one that lasts forever. It is the perfect weapon and the perfect prison. And what about computer viruses? Imagine a self-identification virus. Today you wake up and believe with all your heart that you are Napoleon. Tomorrow, that you are a fish. The day after that you are just a meaningless set of data. A virus that attacks not files, but your very identity, erasing yourself. In the end, mind uploading is the greatest gamble in human history. It's a chance to gain godlike abilities, but with the risk of falling into eternal slavery or hell. This poses the ultimate question to us: what makes us human at all? Science tells us that our consciousness is not just the brain. It is a continuous symphony of the brain, the heart, hormones, and even the microbiome in our gut. Our gut feelings and intuition are the result of complex feedback loops between the brain and body. Can a simulation deprived of a physical body ever truly replicate a genuine human consciousness? Or would it create something else, a cold, disembodied intellect? Consciousness can be compared to the flame of a candle. You can use one candle to light another. The new flame will be an exact copy, but will it be the same flame? No. And the first candle will continue to burn and, eventually, will go out. By uploading our minds, we may be lighting a new, immortal candle, but the price for this is the extinguishing of our own unique and finite, and therefore incredibly precious life. So what would you choose? An imperfect, fragile, but real life in a physical body, or an eternal, limitless, but incredibly risky existence as code?